It's over.
The first ever Void Hunter that's playable in the game, who has dominated the game since release. It's Virgil Sparta's daughter, Hoshimi Miyabi. Important note, this video is mostly for people who are already familiar with Zenless Zone Zero's terminology. Be warned. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am your MC for the day, and I am here to tell you everything you need to know about Hoshimi Miyabi. Miyabi is a Frost Anomaly agent who primarily focuses on doing damage on the field, with her core passive by doing Frost damage which happens after her third attack onward until her combo is over. She applies Ice Fire to the enemy which will last only 30 seconds. When she builds up enough Frost Anomaly, which is that little circle near an enemy's HP bar, and the enemies have Ice Fire, her Frost Anomaly buildup increases by 100% of her crit rate up to a max of 80%, up to 80%. Her Frost Anomaly has its own independent attribute gauge and triggers Freeze, Shatter, and Frostbite that can react with other anomalies, including Ice, to trigger Disorder. When she supplies Frostbite to enemies with Ice Fire, it will consume the Ice Fire and turn into Frostburn, dealing Frost damage equal to 1500% of her attack, and causes the target to enter the Frostburn state. All units accumulate more anomaly buildup against enemies under Frostburn, but Miyabi herself cannot reapply Ice Fire to these enemies. That's important. To use her additional ability, you'll need either a support character or someone who shares the same faction as her. When one of those two is met, her basic attack, Shimotsuki damage increases by 60%. When any other teammate triggers this order, she obtains 2 points of Fallen Frost, and her basic attack, Shimotsuki during the stance, will ignore 30% of the enemy's ice resistance. Now, let's talk about that basic attack. Sati, Kazahana does physical damage after the first 2 slashes, but attack 3 onwards deals frost damage. Skipping into her special attack briefly, with enough energy, she rushes forward and deals frost damage. Upon using this skill, she gains 2 points of Fallen Frost, which are those orbs underneath her HP bar. Back to her basics, with her Shimotsuki, with at least 2 Fallen Frost. Holding her basic, she'll enter a stance to charge up to a max of 3 levels. At 3rd level, she unleashes the her blade, and rapidly strikes foes. And just like her dear old dad, she is the storm that is approaching. One last important ability is her ultimate. Upon using it, she will gain 3 points of Fallen Frost, and her ice damage increases by 30% for 12 seconds. Before we move on, here is her dash and quick assist, because I don't feel like reading them out. Let's talk Vengeance. Her best inside will be the one made specifically for her, the Hailstorm Shrine. Its base attack is at level 60 is 743, and has a crit rate substat of 24%. Her crit damage increases by a percentage, starting at 60%, and when she uses an X special or when a teammate applies an attribute anomaly, her ice damage will increase by a percentage, starting with 20%, stacking up to 2 times in less 15 seconds. Now, if you don't have her Wenshin, fret not, because there are some options you can use. Fusion Compiler, Grace's Wenshin, the Battle Pass Wenshin, Electro Lip Gloss at R5, Jane's Sharpened Stinger is next, followed by Weeping Gemini at R5, with Roaring Ride, which is Piper's. And lastly, Rainforest Gourmet at dead last. Here's a chart that gives you a rough estimate, so build at your own risk. For the other part of the equipment puzzle, her disc drives are very simple. You'll want 4 pieces of the set tailor-made for her, with Branch and Blade Song. The 2-piece gives her more crit damage, while the 4-piece increases her crit damage by another 30%, for anomaly reaches 115. When any squad member applies Freeze or Trigger Shatter, her crit rate increases by 12%. For the other 2 pieces, go with Woodpecker Electro, which increases her crit rate by 8%. Discs 1, 2, and 3 will always have a flat main stat. For Disc 4, you'll want crit rate, Disc 5, ice damage, and Disc 6, attack percent. For substats, you want enough crit rate that you reach minimum 80% crit damage, anomaly proficiency that gets to at least 115, and attack percent. Now, for her teams. You will ideally want a support unit or a unit from her faction. Only 2 characters really fulfill this role, and that's Tsukihiro Yanagi and Sukaku. With Yanagi in the team, getting disorders will be child's play. With Sukaku, Miyabi will be a DPS focus and be buffed by Sukaku immensely. You'll be able to use Ashriev as well with Miyabi, provided you have the girly girl. Yuzaha also fits as a support, but I don't have her nor can provide comparisons. Now for that final slot. It's really simple who the member should be if you chose Sukaku. A unit so beloved, everybody loves him. Nearly everyone. It's Lycan. Not to diss later or anything, but you won't be getting his additional ability unless if you use Lucy or any attacker with Miyabi, which will significantly bring down her personal damage. Lycan is better for Miyabi and vice versa because Lycan's additional ability gets to be used. For skill priority, it literally doesn't matter. You're going to be grinding for them all anyway. Core passives takes 2 days worth of stamina to get everything you need, and getting the boss item takes 4 weeks worth. If you're spending stamina though, it's 360 in total, which is also 2-ish days. But if you really care about it, you want to level her basic first, then ult and skill, are top priority, and only level dash and quick assist until you're done using the tier 2 item and need to start using the tier 3. So, to reiterate, her overall most free-to-play team, and probably best team, is with Lycan and Senkaku. And since you have 2 members of hand in the same party, you can even use Agent Gulliver, the Bangbu. Gulliver can also still be in your Bangbu of choice if you use Miyabi and Yanagi together. For a disorder-focused team, you'll want Yanagi and extra Yao for Miyabi, which is a tall ask if you're free-to-play, especially if you go after their Wenjins. So, to summarize, when a Miyabi uses her X special, she'll gain 2 Fallen Frost, holding up to 6 in total. On ult, she gains 3, and her damage increases briefly. With 6 in total, she can become the storm that is approaching. And now, for a brief showcase of Miyabi fighting, here is what I have on her, and her teammates. I hope you found this guide to be helpful, and I've been MC, and I'll see you all when you least expect it. Hey, so I forgot to talk about her Mindscape Cinema, so let's go over that really quickly. So her M1, if I can look at it. Okay, I guess I have to look at it this way. So her M1, Frost atop the Stone, while she's in her Shimotsuki stance, every 1 point of Fallen Frost consumed will allow her basic attack to ignore 6% of defense, stacking up to 6 times and lasting until the stance ends. When the slash for charge level 3 of basic attack hits an enemy under Frostburn, it will immediately remove the Frostburn state and increase all squad members' anomaly build-up rate by 20% for 10 seconds. So as you can imagine, this is pretty fucking powerful for her. Would I suggest going after this instead of her Wenjin? No, of course not. Grab her Wenjin first, and then if you have extra pulls, then you can go for M1. M2, Breath Technique. Basic attack Kazahana and dodge counter damage increases by 30%. When she gains a point of Fallen Frost, when the final move of the 5th hit of her basic Kazahana hits an enemy, upon entering the battlefield, she will immediately obtain 6 points of Fallen Frost, and her crit rate increases by 15%, which basically just means that building crit rate on her is much easier, and she, does more damage, and, as well as having the ability to do her charge attack immediately. Her M3 is just a basic attack, dodge, assist, and special and chain level up. Her 4, Rupture, Frostburn Break, damage increases by 30%. Upon triggering Frostburn Break, she generates 250 more decimals. Her 5 is another just basic increase into stats. And then her 6, Prodigious Talent. During Shimotsuki stance, Miyabi obtains Polar, which increases her basic attack Shimotsuki damage by 30%. After obtaining Polar, she will automatically draw her blade and unleash powerful slashes based on the current charge level upon consuming Fallen Frost. Before Fallen Frost is completely depleted, the draw and slashes will not interrupt charging under Shimotsuki stance. Each occurrence of stance can perform up to 3 draws and slashes, which is pretty powerful. But I would purely just recommend, if you plan on going for her M1, after getting her Wenjin, I would pick up her M1, if you have enough pulls to guarantee it anyway. But anyway, back to you, past me.
My blade is already sheathed.
Yes, Master.
Cut your hair. Scatter. Weakling. Here we go!
I'll bite your throat out.
Shadowless blade. Victory, the only option. Waste of time. It's over. Press the attack. Ice Smith. I'm unstoppable. Resistance is futile. Weakling. In pursuit. No time to lose. Alright, I'll take the mind. Mind and body. Victory, the only option. It's over.
Hey, Ryu here. Hopefully my MC voice wasn't too grating/annoying. I wanted to try to do a guide video, but roleplay as a character rather than myself, just to spice things up and be unique. Hopefully it worked, but who knows. Anyway, I love Miyabi. She's a super fun DPS, and I'm having a blast with her since I originally got her in 1.4. Man, how time flies. If you're stuck around this long, thank you. One final thing, would you all like to see this kind of thing again in the future? If so, who should I make a guide on? I can only make a guide on a unit I own and have been using, so here's everyone I got. And if enough people ask for a unit, I'll see about making a guide on them. I might do one for Yonagi, since she's getting a rerun in the next phase, and I might do one for some A ranks as well as standard banner units, since no one really does either of those two groups, sadly. But anyway, I think we're going to call it there. I've been Kishi, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.